Welcome back to this South Region Final. An Elite Eight matchup between the top-seeded Baylor Bears and the number 2 seed Florida State Seminoles. A spot in the Final Four on the line, and we have a close one here as Walker gets the lay-in. Florida State now leading by 4 with just 3:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Both teams looking to snap a Final Four drought. Baylor not making the Final Four since 1950, while the Seminoles, as Gillespie's shot is no good, have not made the Final Four since 1972. So history will be made tonight, regardless of who escapes with a win here. A back-and-forth game all night long, but Baylor in a desperate need of a stop here. They've got to get a stop to stay in this game. Walker for 3. Can't get it. Sigh of relief from all the Baylor fans in the crowd. We've got to kick out to Mitchell. Back out to Teague. Baylor down 4. Good pass inside. Got deflected, but it's Freddie Gillespie that lays it in. 38-36. Florida State's been hot all night, especially in that first half. 53%. And Leonard Hamilton wants a timeout. 38-36, Florida State leads, 2:45 remaining. We are in for a very tight and exciting finish here, much like we've seen in many other Sweet 16 matchups. Of course, Wisconsin and Baylor was one in the Sweet 16. That was a double overtime victory. We saw an Elite Eight matchup between Ohio State and Arkansas that was close up until the very end, with the Razorbacks escaping that one. And the winner of this matchup here in the South will be taking on the 11th-seeded Razorbacks in the Final Four. A fantastic Cinderella run by Eric Musselman with his first year with Arkansas. This is just the first and only 1-versus-2 matchup in this year's NCAA tournament. We have seen so many upsets. And after the South region was kind of upset central in the round of 64, it's kind of surprising to see the top 2 seeds from this region meeting in the Elite Eight, meeting in the South Region Final. Florida State's path was much easier, I should say, than Baylor's. Florida State taking down UCLA, who got past UALR in the round of 32. So Florida State not having as difficult of a path here, but still the run very, very impressive by Leonard Hamilton. But can they close it out in the final 2:37? Nichols at the top of the key. Olejnichuk sets a screen. He's going to set another one here in the corner. Polite's going to take a 3, and he hits it. 41-36 now for Florida State. 5-point lead with 2:20 to go, and Baylor has got to push. It may seem like a lot of time, but it's really not. And the Bears have cooled off since that first half. We got a foul inside on Polite. Beidel's going to go to the free throw line to try to cut the Florida State lead to 3. And he misses the first. We can say it over and over and over again. It doesn't make it any different, but free throws have been such a big part of this 2020 NCAA tournament. We've seen games where people have won off of clutch free throws. That's Eli Brooks at Michigan and their win over Creighton. We've seen teams lose because of free throws, like Rutgers falling by 6 to Kentucky after missing 6 free throws, and Vital missing both. That's killer for Baylor, who Forrest not even contested at the free throw line. If I'm Scott Drew, I'm taking a timeout here. He's chosen not to. 2 minutes remaining. Baylor's got to get a bucket just to stay in this thing. Otherwise, we are going to be without a number 1 seed in the Final Four. Big shot by Teague to keep it within striking distance. 5-point lead for Florida State here. And we've got a quick steal. Oh, out of bounds. Great hustle and great effort by Freddie Gillespie, but unable to corral the ball. Florida State maintaining possession, and they're very lucky for that. Almost a really, really bad turnover for the Seminoles, but they maintain possession. 24 on the shot clock. 1:47 to go. They've got to get it in. Gray inside to Nichols. May have been a 3-second violation. No one called it. 15 seconds to shoot. Florida State can waste a lot of clock here, even if they don't get a bucket. It's going to make Baylor's job a lot more difficult. Great inside pass to Elaney Chuck, high off the glass. It's in, 7 points, and now Scott Drew takes a timeout. 1:27 remaining, and the Seminoles are holding on to a 7-point lead. Now rest assured, Baylor fans, we have seen you come back before. The comeback win against Wisconsin in the Sweet 16, a double overtime victory in the Sweet 16, seemed improbable. But they came back and won that one to take on the Seminoles in the Elite Eight. Baylor getting past Prairie View A&M and Colorado in the first 2 rounds. So not a big deal there. And you wonder if maybe that double overtime victory wearing down the Bears a little bit. You wonder if that's playing a factor in this game right now against the Seminoles. Because as we mentioned, Florida State's path has not been that difficult. Their toughest game was Indiana in the round of 32. They escaped the Hoosiers 88-84. But after that, they had an easy cakewalk victory against a undermanned, undersized UCLA team, the 11 seed. Baylor had to work for their win in the Sweet 16. So you wonder if maybe the Bears a little run down, a little tired, this game coming just a few days after that win over Wisconsin. You can see Anthony Polite, 9 points tonight. Doesn't seem like a lot from a guy that doesn't average many points anyways. Scoring almost double digits is extremely impressive and huge when your team's trying to get to the Final Four. Out of the timeout, Baylor's got to hit something. Anything to stay in this game. Teague working in the lane, out to Mitchell. Jared Butler's been the leader for the Bears all season long. Can he hit a clutch shot? He's got to take it back out to the top of the key. He's got to take a 3, 5 to shoot. 2 to shoot. Drive into the lane. Gets it to go. Tough shot. And Baylor still within 5. Butler 15 points tonight, doing everything he can to get his Bears to their first Final Four since 1950. They got a quick steal from Freddie Gillespie. He gets it this time. Butler pushing. Teague can't connect, and that was not the shot they wanted. He could have driven in. Could have taken an open 3. And Polite, maybe the dagger after a quick steal. Hitting the mid-range jumper to extend Florida State's lead back to 7. Questionable decision by Teague a second ago. Is he going to make up for it here? He does. Quick mid-range jumper, still a 5-point game with 32.9 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is far from over. But Baylor might have to go and start fouling, and they do. Jared Butler choosing to do so. That's his first. They got a couple more fouls to give before Florida State gets in the bonus. But man, you can't help but wonder, had T taken a better shot, had T made that shot, and it's 47-44, 47-45, how different this game would be right now and how big these free throws would be for Florida State. First one is missed. So Baylor still clinging on to a little bit of life here. 30.7 seconds remaining. The question is, will Scott Drew take a timeout regardless of what happens on this free throw? Nichols hits on the second. And Scott Drew choosing not to take a timeout. Baylor just needs a quick bucket here. Preferably a 3. Scott Drew changed his mind. Wants to draw something up. 28 seconds remaining in this South Region final between the number 1 seed Baylor Bears and the number 2 seed Florida State. Once again, as we mentioned, the only 1 versus 2 matchup in this year's NCAA tournament. We saw Kansas, Gonzaga both lose in the round of 32. We saw Dayton lose to Virginia in the Sweet 16. And if Baylor were to lose here in the Elite Eight, all number 1 seeds will have been eliminated. And we would have a 2 versus 11 matchup in the Final Four between Florida State and Arkansas. Out of the timeout. Let's see what Scott Drew was able to draw up for the Bears. They need a quick bucket. Choosing not to go for 3. Teague gets the lay-in. 48-44, 24.9 seconds. And Baylor, of course, going to go and foul as soon as they inbounds. They're going to foul Trent Forrest. Jared Butler, his second foul tonight. Still got a few more to give. Not in foul trouble yet. And Forrest misses the first. So do not give up on Baylor just yet. They are out of timeouts. They're going to have to go as soon as they get the rebound or as soon as they inbound. But they're not done. And Forrest hits on the second. 5-point game. 49-44. Baylor's got to go. Teague still trying to make up for that missed shot earlier. He's driving into the lane here. Got a contested shot. And it's no good. Another quick foul by Baylor, but that may have done it. Freddie Gillespie getting the foul. 49-44 Florida State. They have not been hitting at the line very well. Nichols hits the first one, just his third point tonight. All coming on free throw attempts. But in a 7-point game right now, those 4 points that he has now scored are huge. Teague out to Mitchell. Baylor, no sense of urgency now. Jared Butler off the back of the iron. And that's going to do it. The Florida State Seminoles, the 2 seed, has taken down the number 1 seed, Baylor Bears. And the Seminoles are advancing to their first Final Four since 1972. What a game. What a run for both of these programs. Credit to Scott Drew and his Bears. One of the best teams Baylor has had in program history. Credit to Leonard Hamilton keeping his Seminoles alive for a national championship. We want to thank everyone for watching the Gridiron Experts coverage of the 2020 NCAA tournament. Stay tuned for the remaining coverage of the Elite Eight games. And of course, the Final Four and the national championship as well. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time on the Gridiron Expert.